Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 features on Land Portal you might not even know about. And if you do know about them, you might not be using them to their full capability. So let's get to it. All right, so feature number 1 is the market comps feature within Land Portal when you're trying to comp out land. A lot of people know about the AI comp report, all of that, which is great. But the market comps is where you can actually create a custom comp report. So I have a property up, I believe it's in Ohio. And what I am going to do is I'm going to hit reports at the top. We're not going to hit either of the AIs. We're going to hit market comps. And what you can actually do on market comps is you can customize the comps that you want to use. So here, right here, it presets to 3.8 to 3 to 6.3. Let's just go up to like 8 acres and let's go down to 3 and we're gonna get some comps. So what you do now from here is, one, you can run the AI comp report, but what I really like to do is get rid of outliers. So when I'm trying to find and determine the value of my 5-acre property, I wanna get rid of outliers. I wanna see things that are distance. Maybe there's a repeat, like something like this. These aren't repeats, these are 2 different properties. But that being said, let's just sort by price per acre. You can see these ones at here are extreme outliers in terms of they're just not where the normal price is. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to hide these. So we can hide these, and you can see at the bottom as I am hiding those properties that the price is changing, that these average, median, mean, they're all changing, minimum value, all that is changing. So I'm going to hide those, and I'm also going to hide these bigger ones as well. And what we're left with now are 5 really solid comps. You can see they're as close as 2 miles away from our property, all the way up to 11 miles. But the price per acre, all of these are very, very consistent. We can see an average down here of $40,000, which is $6,000 per acre. But the coolest thing is you can actually put these directly on the map. So what you do, you hit the show on map button, and now we're going to have a list of all the comps we're using. And the value in this is not only you understand the prices, you understand the lay of the land now. So if you click into any of these, you can actually see what's going on. Like, you can go here, you can look at the contour, like, okay, this is like my property, it's not like my property, and you can actually see how similar it is. If you want to even go on Street View, you can go on Street View and do that. But that is something that you need to play around with when you're comping land. Every single property you comp, you should be using the market comps as part of your process. So when you're building out a process, for me personally, I do the AI comp report. I do market comps. I'm going to also map for sale stuff as well. So that is what I do when I'm currently doing that. The market comps needs to be a part of that process when you're trying to find out the value of a land. But let's get on to number 2. All right, so number 2 is a newer feature, and what it is our Google Street View. It is very, very helpful when you're trying to do that first layer of due diligence. And none of these features we are talking about are like a one-stop shop, like it's going to do everything, but it is a tool, and it's really nice when you don't have to go off and pull up Google Earth and look at the property and go on Street View, whatever it is. You can stay all on Land Portal when you're doing this. So let's just zoom in real fast. Let's click a property. Let's see if we can find a vacant piece of land here. Let's click right here. So we have a vacant piece of land right at that corner. I believe it's vacant at least. And what we have here is our little Google guy. And we're going to click that. And you're going to actually be able to see the marker on here as well, which is really cool. So you can see that's like where I had the marker on the map. And we can go around. This is double-sided road frontage here. And you can actually see what's going on with your land. Extremely valuable. You can see where the marker is, everything like that. And what I use this for, a couple things. Number 1 is you can use it for looking at the slope. You can use it for looking at the, maybe someone said there's they said the property is all good, and then you see trash on the property with the Google or Street View guy. There's a lot of different value pieces you can do with this. In this bottom right section, down here, if you can see my mouse, it's going to actually say the image date as well, which is extremely helpful. If you have someone who, maybe there's a mobile home on an old imagery, and they say they got it down, and you have a recent Street View that shows the mobile home still there. You can ask them, like, I see on Google that it's still showing as of X date or whatever that is. You guys got that removed after then, correct? And this is just something to save you money before you send a drone photographer out there. Make sure you know as much whenever you're trying to find out about a property, whenever you're trying to make a decision on a property, if you want to move forward, if whatever the situation is, you want to get as much information as possible before you spend some money sending a drone photographer out there, sending a realtor to get an opinion on the land. Whatever it is, you want to be able to do as much on your computer as possible. This is another tool. So number one was market comps. Number two, Google Street View. Let's get to number three. All right, so number three is the buildability button within the scorecard. So slope and buildability, kind of the same things in terms of what we're talking about here. You obviously have up here the AI slope report, which I always suggest getting if you're in a questionable sloped area. Like, you want to be downloading that. But a quick thing, if you're talking to someone on the phone or you're trying to close a lead, whatever it is, a quick button to use is the show buildability button within the scorecard. What that takes is all the elevation within the property, and then it kind of determines how sloped or what areas of the property are flat. It is a machine learning thing. It's AI that's actually figuring the buildability out. And it's not just these numbers down here. So if you look down here, you see flat slope is 0.24% of the property is flat. So this doesn't matter in terms of that. This is actually finding out the buildability and looking for clusters, what we call clusters of areas that are flat enough to put a house, to put a structure on it, essentially. So using this in the scorecard or in the property card can be extremely beneficial, can save you a lot of time. Again, I always will still end up downloading the slope report, which has a lot more detail on it than the buildability button. But that being said, if you're talking to a lead, looks really sloped, or you're trying to get a quick answer, you don't have time to do the slope report right away, talk to them and like, this looks a little too slope for me, like, and you can send them the report too. Once you do get the slope report, sending leads that stuff is really, really valuable if you're trying to negotiate with them. But those are the three, guys. Make sure you are using them. Maybe you already are and aren't using them to their full capability. Like, these are three extremely valuable features on Land Portal that the people who are using them love them. They use them all the time. Some people don't even know about them. That's why I wanted to make this video. Number one, the market comps. Number two, Google Street View. And number three is the buildability within the property card. Other than that, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.